Go on, Rosie. You can do the introduction today. I'll let you.
Okay. Salam alaikum, everyone. Welcome back to the Real Talk with Saika Riyad and Rosaline Batul. So today I'm joined with the amazing Saika Riyad. She is the marriage mindset coach and she helps married couples transform and thrive their marriages. And yeah, she's just amazing at what she does.
Alhamdulillah, we have got the wonderful Rosaline Batul in after 10 days. About time you got your act together and got here. Because people
Yeah,
have been messaging me like crazy,
nothing.
saying, when are you coming on?
No one
And I'm like,
messages
I
me,
can't
man.
give you a date. Go and harass Rosie because she's the one who's
No one harasses me.
oh, come on, honestly, I've been getting essays on of messages.
Really? I love my body, guys. Thank you. Alhamdulillah for supporting us and stuff and tuning in. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, jazakallah khair for all the positivity and all the lovely messages that we've been getting. So today what we're discussing is I want a business. Now, many people have actually mentioned this in the past, haven't they? Even on the lives that, you know what,
Yep.
how did you do it? What did you do? Can you share as, you know, your story, what's happened, what have been some of your.
Yeah.
So make
Secret.
sure you do say hello to us because we're streaming on multiple platforms. We don't know who's on until you write a comment. So, you know,
Yeah.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for joining us. Inshallah, we've got a really jam-packed session for you today. So, Rosie, what would you say is the first step? Right.
Oh, I'm
I
on
know
the
there's a lot of steps. You know what? There is frigging hell, there is a lot of steps when it comes to building your own business. Subhanallah.
Okay. First of all, I just want to answer this comment. Warda's asked Sister Saika, how can we get in contact with you for counseling? You can DM Saika. Just so I wanted to get out of the way, just in case the sister has to go or something. And Jeff Brown has joined us. Thank you so much, Jeff Brown, for joining us. So okay, where do we start when it comes to building a business? Number one thing, I wanna be blunt, okay? Because a lot of us go into business
We
thinking
know you are blunt. You're a blunt woman. So we know that already.
I'm gonna cut through it, yeah? Guys, your business is not here to validate you. Okay, a lot of us think, oh, I'm gonna build a business because I wanna have this lifestyle. I want to make £1 million in the first month or the first year. I have this amazing idea, and then when you look deeply at it, it's because number one, you're unhappy with your life. Number two, you think building a business is going to give you that get rich quick scheme, and number three, you have some deep seated issues within you that you feel like, okay, building a business will somehow help me avoid that. Okay, so what you don't want to do is build a business from a place of lack or a place of scarcity. So I'm going to talk about the don'ts. Okay, how not
Don't
to
do
build
this.
a
Yeah.
business.
And do
Yeah.
not watch them. You know, you see them adverts on YouTube and everywhere else where there's like this random guy who's sitting on a beach with
Oh my God,
you know,
guys,
like in a jet or something and saying, do you want to live this life?
guys,
Subhanallah. What a whole
that's
load
such
of
a
rubbish
lie.
thing.
You know how long
Yeah.
it took that guy to get to that stage? But probably like 20 years. If you look at Grant Cardone, he started at the age of 25 and he's 60 now. The guy is
Subhanallah. Is he 60? I never
60. He doesn't look 60, does he?
right.
He's
Okay.
60 now, and he bought his jet when he was 59. Took him 25 years to become a millionaire or a billionaire, I think he is now. So guys, you have to realize, guys, that building a business has nothing to do with you. If you have a skill that can solve a problem and there's a demand for your supply, you have a business. That's it. Business is as simple as that. So for example, me and Saika, we're both coaches. We both have trained in NLP. Asika is a marriage coach. I'm a business mentor, right? Business leader. We both have different niches that we're in, yeah, but we both have a demand for it and there's a supply for it. And we use our skills to help supply that demand and to solve that problem. Okay. So business is not about validating you. Don't go into business thinking, I'm going to become a millionaire, sit on a beach and be like sitting on my laptop and doing all these calls and making 300 million every single second. It doesn't.
That's the funniest
Sorry.
thing I ever heard.
So
They have
sorry.
no idea how hard it is. And you
It's
know
not.
what, subhanAllah, you're completely right. Firstly, I know there's a lot of fake advertising around it, and it's not all hunky dory, and it's not a walk in the park, subhanAllah. I think the first thing to address is people make excuses. By the way, my nephews are here. So
Are they on?
I just if they run in all of a sudden, then I'm sorry, I didn't know
Guys,
they
this is what we call real talk,
this is
yeah?
real talk.
Real
This is
life.
real life, subhanallah. Right, they're probably going to get excited and jump over.
Oh,
Right,
bless them. mashallah.
yeah, alhamdulillah. So I think people make a lot of excuses to not start something. They say, I wasn't born in this country, I'm a female. These are things that they put in their heads, right? I'm an immigrant, I'm a part of
Oh,
a
yeah.
minority. The problem is nobody actually cares what your excuses are.
Mm,
Like Rosie said, if you are good at what you do and you can solve a problem and you become really great at solving that problem, subhanallah, you can succeed. You can do
yes.
whatever that problem is, as long as you do it with integrity, as long as you do it in the right way, alhamdulillah, you can do really well in it. The thing is, people have a lack of patience, right? They give
Mm,
up too early, subhanallah. They have these ideas in their head and they think about it and they dream about it. You're not actually lost, you're just early on in the process. Obviously, early on in the process, you're not going to be doing that. That's normal. That's how you build a muscle. If you go to the if you want to have a great body, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to train it. You have to look at your food. You have to look at your diet, your exercise. What have you got in place? Walaikum salam, Farah and Shajibul. Thank you for joining. So this is a key thing, that people have a lack of patience as well, and because they want, because we live in that instant gratification kind of culture now, that we want something, we want it right there and then,
mm,
right?
right?
So yeah, go ahead, Rosie.
And another thing I wanted to talk about, that instant gratification. That instant gratification will give you a short-term pleasure. So it'll give you the short-term money. It'll give you what you want in the short term. But guys, if you haven't thought about your business as a retirement plan, as your actual legacy, that you're going to retire with this business and it's going to help you retire, then just know you don't have a business model. The whole point of business building is that it has to become a part of your life. It has to be something that you run, that you employ employees for, that you outsource. It becomes like, imagine JD Sports or Sainsbury's or whatever, all these like top market, they have employees. That's a business. That's what you have to work towards. But a lot of us are just looking at the short-term gain. That's because of instant gratification, fake advertising, like looking at all these coaches and thinking, oh my God, look how amazing it is. I want that. And it's amazing. You can have that. But guys, like personally for me, it's taken me 10 years to get this far where I am right now. 10 years in the making. What you see of me on Instagram was 10 years in the making, right? But no one sees those 10 years because I wasn't really on Instagram. I started when I was 21. Now I'm 31. So just remember that you have to be in it for the long term. And I think that's the number. You know how you always say it's like about committing and
Yeah,
willingness? You
yeah,
have to be
100%.
committed to that decision that I'm going to build this business. And you know what's going to happen when you build that business? You have an idea first, then you have like another string of ideas that you go with. So it's not like you stick to one thing all the time. I don't know about you, Saika. Did you start with straight away into like marriage coaching? You studied NLP first, right?
Yeah, subhanallah, even before I did that, and even before that happened, I had to first figure out who I was and my blockages
Right.
and things that were stopping me with my own mindset, right? Subhanallah, before you even go down that route, I think the very, very first step is to get rid of this, to get rid of this.
What's your nephew's name?
Hello, come here, come here, come
Hi,
here.
salam
Look, I'm going to
alaikum.
show you. You're going to be on TV. Come here.
MashaAllah.
Say hello. Say hello.
Salamu alaikum.
Hello.
Allah, Allah barik.
You're on TV now. Say, just wait.
What's your name?
Go on. This is real talk, guys. You get real
It's a
people
real
here.
talk,
There
guys.
they are.
So
There they
you're
are.
just like,
Mashallah. These are my sister's children. Mashallah. Okay, you go now. Play
oh,
now. Okay, because Hala's busy. Okay, go play now. I'm gonna come back.
Jazakallah, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Good boy.
Assalamu alaikum.
I showed you in the camera as well. Okay, come here. Oh my God, I can't even pick you up. You're too heavy. Because
he's 10 years old. I'm 6 meters long.
you're 6 meters long.
That's the size of the Velociraptor.
Subhanallah, Rosie, I don't know how you do it with kids. There he is. There he is. He's 6 meters. Say salam alaikum.
Oh, wa alaikum salam. MashaAllah. What's your name?
What's your name? She says. He can't hear you. What's your name?
Can you hear me?
Okay, you go now.
Okay.
Good boy, okay? Good,
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Close my door, please. I told you they were
Real
gonna come
talk,
in, didn't I? This is real. I'm sorry. I couldn't hide them anywhere. So
guys. Shaka's trying to hide them in the cupboard.
I can't lock them up in the cupboard or anything, subhanAllah.
No,
So what we were even saying, sorry, I forgot what
mindset.
we were saying.
Get rid of those blocks within. Get rid of
Yeah,
those blocks in you.
yeah, alhamdulillah. So it's really, I think people judge themselves very early in the process and they think, you know what, I can't do this. This is not working out. But really, you're not lost or you're not, it's not that you're not successful. You're early on in the progress. It takes a
Mm,
ton of patience. And before we even started and qualifying and doing all this work was to figure out who you are, what your blockages are in life, get rid of your own baggage first. Because if you haven't sorted out your own baggage, how are you going to help others, subhanAllah? Right?
right.
So, yeah, you can't help other people unless you have got rid of your own baggage.
Yeah.
And that was the first realization I had after going through my own divorce that, you know what, I need to sort myself out first. That's priority, that's number one. And then, inshallah, I'm going to do something after that.
Alhamdulillah, that's amazing. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that baggage. This is what I would say to people. Like when I do my coaching, I'm like, guys, your business is not here to validate your worth. And we always have this thing. I remember being told, charge your worth, but my worth is priceless. Like I can't charge my worth. If I had to charge my worth, it'll be within the trillions and trillions. It'll be infinity because I'm priceless. Right. So it's not about your worth and about what you deserve. Remember, guys, business is not about instant gratification. It's not about instant validation. It's not about validating who you are. It's about helping solve someone's problem and getting them a transformation.
Yeah,
So
and I think people do it because they're trying to run away or they're trying to escape from something or they want a
yes,
title. And when you do it
exactly.
for that reason, it's number one, it's not going to last. It's not
Mhm.
going to be sincere and you're going to give up quickly because how long can you do something which is just an instant fix to prove something to somebody or, you
Thank
know,
you.
don't do
Yes.
that. You need patience. You need a ton of patience. You need time and you have to be very, very optimistic. That's your asset. You know,
Oh, yeah.
if you're 20 years old now, alhamdulillah, you've got 20 years, subhanallah, you've got your whole future. You can put this in, subhanallah, and you have to put in disproportionate amounts of work. Think in the 50-year terms. Don't think about the results in 50 days. Don't think that
Mm,
I want this result in 50 days. I want to make this business. This is my legacy, you know. So, subhanallah, because regret in a person's eyes is powerful.
yes.
If you don't do these things, if you really want to do something and you're solving a problem, subhanallah, and you're at 70 or 80 or 90 years old and you see the regret in that person's eyes because now they're tired, now it's over, now they can't spend that time that they wanted with their family and the children, you know, regret drives me. It works as a positive mechanism for me because I don't want to have a mediocre life. I don't want to
Mm,
have a life where I think, you know what, I could have done this, I could have really impacted these people, and I
yes.
didn't. And failure and adversity, there's failure, we've said this before, there's no such thing as failure, it's feedback. And we
Exactly.
welcome feedback because feedback is what is going to make you grow. All failures are, in fact, micro failures are learning lessons. We said this
Mm,
last time, you get as much as from your losses as you do from your gains. That is super
mm.
important. You either give up or you give it all you've got.
And I want to add to that as well, Saika. Guys, a lot of us are chasing someone else's version of success. That's the real
Yeah,
issue. What
subhanallah.
happens is when you see this fake advertising and you see all these, I'm not saying fake advertising, the people actually do have that stuff, but I'm saying that when it makes you feel away, right, that means that you've created an image of success that's not your own. And then when you get triggered by people becoming successful, you feel a bit envious. You're thinking, oh, I wish I could do that. Let me go and try it. It's coming from a place of lack. It's coming from a place of ego, right? Your ego is only here to get recognition, validation, and it constantly reminds you of why it needs to be here because it reminds you of the fear. So when you think about building a business and you think that, oh, well, I want what that person has, that means you haven't defined your version of success. I remember that for myself. I had my version of success is completely different to what it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, all I wanted to do was make a quick buck. That's it. That's why I was selling black seed oil. I was just like, let me just make some quick money, quick profit. Let me just find something to make. That was my version of success. But now it's about longevity. It's about serving clients, helping clients get transformation, helping someone get out of a rut. That's my version of success. It's never just about the money. Money is just an effect of what I do. That's it.
Money is
Money's
the
not
byproduct. This
yeah.
is what you're rewarded with
The
when you
reward.
provide an amazing
Yes,
service, when you
exactly.
change lives, when you impact people. And before you
Right.
even go down that route, remember, you have to really invent yourself first. You got to
Yes.
reinvent yourself. You have to
Yep.
work on your game. You have to become great at what you do. And for that, you need patience. You need to have that
Mm,
tenacity.
yes.
Subhanallah. And a lot of people, and I'm not saying this is a blaming thing, but most people, what they do, even like teenagers when they're in the 20s and stuff, they're chasing women, they're chasing cars, they're into
Yep.
their clubbing, they want the quick fix, they want the
Yep.
quick desire, they don't put in the work. Think of, if you really want a business and you're serious about it and you've worked on yourself, what can you do from Fridays if you've got a 9 to 5 job, right? What can you do Friday from 5 p.m. to Monday 7 a.m.? What actions can you take to really incorporate them habits to building a business? Because a lot of
Mm,
people say we don't have time. Actually, even if you're working 9 to 5, you've got a lot of hours that if you really put in the work, 1 hour of real productive time, and really getting help and becoming good at what you do can really change something. And
yeah.
you have
And
to be in it for the long run. It's not a 50-day thing. Think of the
yeah.
master plan. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I remember when I studied rapid transformational therapy, and I was like, I need to make this work for myself. And I remember literally, guys, this is why, to put things into context for you and how much you have to sacrifice in the beginning, your time. You have to sacrifice some of your sleep. And I'm not saying you have to work to the point of burnout, but you have to sacrifice, something has to give for you to plant that seed, for you to reap the reward, right? Because think about it, when you plant the seed, it requires effort. Okay, it requires some effort from you. So for me personally, when I was studying, I had 3 kids. I just had a newborn baby. I was studying. I would put the kids to bed at 7 p.m., study
Subhanallah.
until 10 p.m., go to sleep for like 3-4 hours, wake up for tahajjud, then start my work off from tahajjud time all the way to fajr time, right? Because obviously I'm a mother, I have, my timing is different. So you have to tell yourself that, am I really committed to this? Do I really
Yeah.
want this? And if when you commit to it, you will see a change within yourself, and you'll let go of the excuses. You'll be like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want any more excuses. All those stories in my mind telling me that I can't do it, I'm letting them go, and I'm going to commit to this one thing and be focused on it, guys. Guys, mastering your art, mastering your skill is the number one thing that will help you get results for your people, results for your clients, and also make you a ton of money. It's always about the skill and you mastering
Subhanallah.
it,
And
right?
you're so true, because there's a difference between being good and being great. Because everybody
Right.
nowadays is good, but it takes
Yeah.
work to become great. It takes that a lot of effort and tenacity and money and time to really master your game. And completely agree, Rosie. You have to punt on leisure. You have to really give up them leisure kind of things that you normally do, that you would have done on Saturday all day long. You would have been going out with your best friend, going and doing this with your family member, doing this. You have to give them things up to make this work, because this is a decision, and that decision has to be a congruent and firm decision.
Mm,
Work on your limiting beliefs. If you've been traumatized from your ex, or
mm,
from your marriage issues, or whatever it is that you've had in your life, subhanallah, from your childhood, you have to reinvent yourself first. Do
yes.
that bit. It starts off, that's step number one. If I was to give it in an order, I would say do that. Then,
Mm,
me and Rosaline do this ourselves. Alhamdulillah, we've got the same coaches,
yes.
right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, right? We get a coach. Because what's gonna happen is a coach is gonna show you your blind spots. They're gonna show you what you need to be doing, because they've already done it. And they're gonna help you get them results 10 times faster than you sitting there struggling on your own and dreaming and wishing about it.
And I want to add to that, guys, like, just 1 second. Don't wait to make money before you get a coach, guys.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I know so many people think, oh, let me just get my first sale. Let me just figure out this on my own. Let me get the marketing right. No, because you know what you're going to do? You're going to go in a cycle and you're going to get stuck in a rut. You're going to quit. And you'll be like, okay, I'm done. This is not working for me. Get a coach before you're ready. You know why? Because that coach will see where you're at, will see your blind spots, will be like, listen, go this way, not that way. And that will save you like 5-10 years of like heartache, heartbreak, feeling like a failure, and it will accelerate your success.
I wish honestly, if I could do something, if I had the opportunity to really do one thing that could change the quality of my life, wallahi, I would have got a coach in my
Same.
early teenage years or
Yeah.
started from my 20s rather than my late 20s. I would
Mm,
have done that, subhanallah, because once you don't know what benefit this, once, subhanallah, you don't know if you've got the right coach and a person who knows what they're doing and
mm,
who's achieved already everything you want to achieve, it's priceless. That stuff is priceless. That's
mm.
why, subhanallah, I believe in it so much, because they don't listen to your stories, they don't listen to your fears, they don't listen to you when you say, they hold you to a higher standard. You're
Yeah,
accountable now. You're accountable. You're going to get XYZ result, and that's what you're working towards, subhanallah.
mm,
And that's the benefit of having a coach, and it is so important, subhanallah. This in itself is transformational.
yes. And it's
Yeah.
worth the, you know what, it's worth the investment, because it's not just about the business, it's what else happens in your life that transforms. Like, I know personally, having coaches along my business journey has helped me transform my relationship with my kids, within my marriage, with my friends, with my clients. You know, people that you're around 24/7, it changes that as well. It's not just about your business, not just about making money. It helps you transform. You know how Psycho was saying about changing your identity and helping reinventing yourself. This helps you do that quicker, because then your coach will be like, listen, I can hear that, you're coming up with the stories again, but let's just rewind that. Let's stop, let's slow down. And they're able to help you shift those perspectives, which is so important when it comes to your other personal relationships as well.
Subhanallah, last year I remember when I had my relationship mastery event, I didn't do it on my own. I don't know all the marketing side and filling a room up with 300 people in like less than a month and
Yeah,
getting them to be there. I don't know how you do that. There's some
right.
things we don't all know how to do that. You have to have the
Exactly.
help, you have
Yeah.
to have that in place for it to grow and for it to work. And once you've got a coach, what you start doing is you start taking action. In fact, you start taking massive action, is ideally what you do. And when you take that action, what you're going to see is some of them things are going to work and some of them things are not going to work. And you're
Mm,
going to be so adaptable that you're going to keep changing your approach until it gets you to where you want to be.
yep. That is deep.
This is a long term plan. This is a long game. You don't sit and wish and dream about it and think about it. And a lot of us, that's what we do all our lives. We dream about
Yeah,
them. We wish, we want them. We desire them. We look at them. We envy them. We respect them. We look at them from far and say, yeah, I'd love to have that. But we don't get up and do anything about it.
exactly, right. And that, that comes down to, not willing to make a decision, guys. That's all it is. That's all it is. When you actually think about it, every single day we're making a decision. You're making a choice of whether to either watch that series on Netflix or to actually work on yourself and to improve yourself. You're making a choice every single day. And usually what happens is we're avoiding the decision that will make us so successful. You know why? Because really deep down inside, you're probably afraid of owning your potential. You're afraid of, like, if I go away from society's norms, then people are going to hate me, they're going to criticize me, I'm going to get rejected. This is the reason why we don't commit, because we're thinking about other people, we're thinking about the rejection, we're thinking about our family. What will they say about me? What will they say if I just go and do this business? I don't have a 9 to 5 job, it's a business. They don't understand it. But you have to remember that this is why it's so important to have people around you that will show you that this is possible, that it's okay for you to follow your dreams, take action upon it, and commit to it. Because the people, at the end of the day, your family and your friends and the people around you don't understand what your vision. That's the whole point of leadership. When you want to become a leader, you have a vision that no one can see, and it's up to you to implement it, right? But then when you allow people to dictate your opinions, dictate your worth, then you're going to start saying, okay, I just don't want this. I want to eat. Let me just live average. Let me just live this way. And then you fall into depression, feel unhappy, think that, oh my God, I'm not fulfilling my life the way I want it. That's all because you refuse to make that decision and commit to it.
Yeah, and often sometimes what happens is the reason why we didn't commit and we didn't make a firm decision is because we let other people hold us back. And a
Yeah.
lot of the times it can even be our own family members, right? As much as they have rights upon us, they are family, they are blood, etc. We treat them well, maintain the ties, etc. But they can hold you back because now you're living your life according to their fears and their insecurities, and you've held yourself back. But you
Mm,
have to, as long as and I think we've mentioned this before, as long as you're not doing anything haram, you're not doing anything that is
yeah.
displeasing to Allah, and you're providing a service and you're doing it with integrity and you're providing a good service, subhanallah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Don't make excuses that, yeah, I'm from this background and that background, I wasn't British, or I didn't have this and this happened in my life. No, everybody, that doesn't matter. That's not going to dictate your success. You have to,
Exactly.
and that's why I said, subhanallah, before, that you have to do the inner work. You have to fix this control panel of yours first,
Mm,
that is holding you back, and then you can really excel, subhanallah. And that's the
yeah.
first step.
And
You have to
usually
fix
those
your own
those
control.
yeah, and
Yeah.
those like the buttons that you have in your mind are all triggered by money, by criticism. That's the two things mainly, rejection and money. That's the first two things that are in your mind. And then as soon as you hear about money, you're like, no, no, I can't do this. 'Cause I speak to so many people, so many sisters who have a business already. They're giving out free sessions, they're doing things for free because they're triggered by money. And this all goes back to that mindset issue, that you have to get rid
Mm.
of all those blueprints that you have around money, around selling, around being seen, being heard. Because as children, we were taught to not be seen or heard. We were taught to be quiet. We were taught not to outshine others. This is another thing that I recently found out
We
that,
were taught money is scarce, and it's
yeah,
never going to happen, and you should never spend it
exactly.
on something that, unless it's really, really important and life kind of changing or
Yeah,
whatever.
like university. And guys, I have a law degree. I haven't used it, okay? Spent thousands upon thousands. Me
Tell
and
me
Simon
about
have
it.
it. Right? I don't know why. Like I still ask myself, why did I study it? The only thing I liked about law was criminology, and I studied sociology as well. That's the only two things I liked, because I love studying human behavior. But other than that, I don't use it.
Criminal law was really interesting because when you go through
Yes,
murder cases and what made that
intent.
criminal, yeah, and intent, and
Yes,
what was his intention when he was killing that person, really getting to the
right.
nitty gritty. It was quite interesting, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I like, the mindset, the psychology behind it. That's the only
Mm.
thing I liked about it. But guys, I have a law degree, Saika has a law degree. We're both coaches training people on their mindset. It's like completely, like, sometimes you just have to understand that we have been taught constantly to like stick to society's expectations. Go to university, spend all your money on university, spend thousands, get yourself into debt so that you can show people that, oh, I've got this degree. And then what? You're unhappy inside because really what you want to do something completely different, have your own business.
Subhanallah. And you know what? How much the tuition fees are now? Back in them days when I
I
did my
know.
degree, I think it was three and a
Three
half
grand.
grand a year,
Yeah,
three and a half or
yeah.
3K. Now, subhanallah, it's like 10
9K.
plus K or 12K
And
or
people
like
invest in it. Right.
10, and they actually pay for it, for that piece of paper. And I don't want to put you off education, because mashallah, education can serve you, but really it's about your practical skills that you have as a human being. And you can do that same thing that you're spending thousands now. Like, if you're going to do a degree in this day and age, it's going to cost you at least 30K minimum
I
for
know.
3 years.
And people are
30K.
stressing. Yes, people are
And
stressing.
people are getting loans to get this piece of paper, which isn't really, subhanallah. You could do that same thing, or you could build your own business and get a coach, right, and work through it quicker and
Yeah,
faster and cheaper and more effective than going down the long uni route and all of
exactly.
that.
Look at all the top billionaires. Most of them don't have degrees, and I'm not saying in a way. Obviously, if you want to become a doctor, you can't. You
Yeah,
can't.
alhamdulillah, true.
You want to become an engineer. I think doctors, engineers, and the people that working on other people in those senses, that's cool. That's education is great for that. But when you're doing it because you want to impress society and you're not listening to your own calling and you're refusing to listen to yourself and you're trusting others to the point that you become depressed. Like, how many students do I speak to? How many people do I speak to? Like, oh my God, I don't want to be at university. I'm just doing it to please
Yeah.
my parents, or I'm just doing it because my cousin's at university, so I have to compete with her.
Or my dad forced me, or my dad wants me to do
Yeah,
this. I was
right.
speaking to one as well, and she was saying the same thing. Yeah, subhanallah.
It's scary because end of the day we all have these blueprints in our minds that come from our parents. Our parents, obviously, they were raised in scarcity, so they passed that on to us. The lack, the fear. Now we're in recession. This whole recession has triggered so many people around money, around investing in themselves, around creating, building a business. But you know that billionaires and millionaires were born from recessions. This is like, when if you've had this idea of building a business, now is the time to do it because people need you right now. If you have a skill, if you know you're good at things, if you know are good at helping, if you're good at solving someone's problem, whatever the niche is, now is the time for you to go into it. But you have to get rid of all those triggers in your mind that remind you of childhood events that you're going to fail or that you're not good enough. And there's another belief that has recently come up for my clients is that it's not right for me to outshine others. So
Yeah.
if you're
So there's a
gifted,
fear of success as well
yes,
as failure. Then, yeah.
yes. So if I shine too brightly, other people might get hurt. And this goes back to a childhood programming, especially if you were gifted. Your parents probably told you that calm down, like lower it a bit. Stop shining too bright. So what happens is if you take that into business, the first thing you will do is hide. You'll be like, I don't want no one to know about my business. I can't go on social media. How do I tell people what I do? Let me just stick to what the norm is. All these things stop you from building a successful business.
Subhanallah. Yeah, and it's so, there's a lot of things that hinder us, but again, it comes down to making that firm, congruent decision, becoming committed and saying, you know what, I need to achieve this in my life, and what am I going to do? What price am I willing to pay?
Yes.
And money is just one part of it, by the way. It's
Yeah.
money
It's
is just
a
one
byproduct.
small commitment of the business. It's
Yeah.
actually takes more time and effort and energy to build it and to maintain it. That's actually a bigger factor than the money you spend on it.
Yes. And guys, also another thing, when you start building your business, you know what's going to happen? You're going to reach a ceiling. So there's a ceiling upon every single level of success that you reach. So you'll hit a ceiling, and then what you'll do, you'll sabotage yourself. You'll sabotage
Yes.
your success. You'll get into a fight with someone. You'll someone will come to you and criticize you, and you'll go into a spin. Something will happen for you to go back to that space of when you felt low, when you felt poor, when you felt broke, right? And this is why we always talk about getting rid of the issues in your mind, because
Mm.
when you face those upper limits, when you face that ceiling, you're able to break through it and get to the next level. It's all about getting to the next level and evolving and growing in your business. Your business has to grow with you. If you're staying stagnant, your business will stay stagnant. You have to be able to evolve and grow through your business, and by upgrading your mind is so key to doing that.
Subhanallah, yeah. And again, also to also add that you have to sacrifice a lot of your leisure because this is a mission. A mission is not a job. A mission is you live. Subhanallah, we live life once. I know I'm not saying YOLO, right? YOLO and all that, right? But you do. You live
Oh
life
no,
one
that's
time,
it.
and this is the time right now to map out the future. You know, if you really want to become happy and you want to achieve that success, you have to grab that happiness for yourself. And when
Yeah,
you've lived a hard and painful experience, in your life, whether it's through your marriage, whether it's through your business or family things, whatever, your life is gonna what's you want something that's gonna outlive you, something that's gonna count, something that's gonna build a legacy, something that you can actually change the planet with, subhanallah. We should
yeah.
be, in a way, we should be ashamed to die unless we've made a major contribution to humankind. You have
Mm,
to think on that level, subhanallah. And
yes.
don't conform to the world, but actually transform it. You know,
Yeah.
um, subhanallah. It's like, imagine if you go on a walk with somebody or you're talking to somebody, right? Either they adjust to your pace or you're adjusting to their pace. Whose
Mm,
pace have you chosen to adjust to? You know, whose pace have you chosen to adjust to, subhanallah? So these choices are programmed in us, and there's so many things that we're seeing all everywhere, all this advertising through Facebook, Instagram, TV, phones, our own communities, and you have to program your own mind first. You
Yeah,
have to really figure out what's, and that's why with coaching, a coach is somebody who sees something in you that you cannot see. They take you to a place within yourself which you can't go alone by yourself.
mm,
Subhanallah. And once you do that and you start that journey and you're committed, you can go and start the business you always wanted. Because
exactly.
the world isn't all about, with all due respect to our family and our family members, about what your mummy or your daddy thinks or what they told you. You have to create it. You have
Yes,
to create that.
that's so
As
true.
long as you're not doing anything wrong. And subhanallah, if you are at this moment in time, even more so, you're single, you've got no children, subhanallah, you're one step ahead. We're lucky enough to kind of start now, because obviously, Rosaline, mashallah, you're a mum of three.
Mhm.
You have much more responsibilities
Yep.
than me,
Yeah, and it's all
right?
about commitment. It's like just like it goes back to that commitment. Just like I was committed to my children, and I still am every single day. I make that commitment. I make that commitment every single day in my business. That you know what, I'm going to show up, even if I feel like crap, even if I feel like today I don't feel like doing it, because you know where that's coming from. It's coming from a place of lack. If I believe within myself that I have everything I need, I have the
Mm,
money I need, I have the happiness I need, I have the love I need, because Allah is my source of that. Then
subhanallah,
why
yeah,
then why do I need to hide myself, and why do I need to fall for the stories that I'm paying and putting in my mind? Of course, yeah, if I haven't slept properly, that's different. If I haven't eaten properly, that's different. I have to put myself first. But once I
mm,
put myself first and I'm still telling myself, nah, not right now, I'm just not feeling it, it's not the right time, I'm buying my own story, and I'm risking that commitment, and I'm making an excuse to not commit. And guess what that does? Your self integrity goes down, because guys, the promises you make yourself are the most important things. If you break the promises that you make yourself, you're going to break every
yeah,
single promise that you make to other people, including
yeah,
your own
subhanallah.
business.
How can you
Including-
trust yourself if you're not even sticking to your own word? That's going to decrease your self-esteem, your confidence. You're going to feel like rubbish because you can't even, forget sticking to promises with other people. You haven't done something with your own self, which is
yes,
a lack, which is again showing a lot of lack of, not integrity. What's the right word?
the
Not
lack of
integrity.
trust in yourself. And you know what? This
Yeah,
is where sabotage comes from, guys. Because you may be thinking I'm sabotaging myself, but ask yourself, when's the last time I made a promise to myself and I stuck to it? And the reason why you're sabotaging yourself now is because you feel guilty for all the times that you didn't stick to those promises, and you're afraid someone's going to find out. Your mind is very clever. It
yeah,
tricks the ego, especially the ego. It sits next to you and it brings up your, you know what it does, right? I like to like personify the ego, right? It sits next to you, brings out your case files and said, do you remember when you did this? Do you remember when you failed here? How
your
can
brain is like
yes,
Google. You ask the question,
and
Google,
you find
this
the
Google
answer.
will give you all the answers. Why am I so rubbish? Why am
Yes,
I ugly?
because you did this, because you did that, because you felt this way. Your ego is like, it has the spectacles on. It's just that annoying person that just won't, that keeps reminding you of your failures. That's what your ego is, right? And every time you break the promises to yourself, you know what your ego does? It goes, haha, I told you so. I told you so. I told you won't commit to it. And then you think, oh my gosh, if people find out, they're going to think I'm a fake. They're going to tell the world I'm a fake. This is what happens because you're not keeping
Yeah.
the promises
You
to
don't
yourself.
want to be found out because you're not congruent now with your own self.
Yes,
And if you're
exactly.
not congruent with your own self, you're living in that state of panic and fear mode all the time. I just want to acknowledge some people on Facebook. Jazakallah khair for joining. Nashila, Sansi,
Like I
Sister,
said, guys.
Kira, Ash, Haluka, Mazada. Thank you very much. Subhanallah. And also, another thing, Rosie, that like for example, if you want to become a doctor, now
Yeah.
I'm not saying to you that's the worst thing to do on the planet,
No,
but
it's not. It's good, guys.
right, that's a good thing, alhamdulillah, right? I'm not against doctors per se, right? But why would you go through 10 years of rigorous academic training when you can get faster and shorter results in your own business in 2 years if you really work for it?
Yeah.
Tuition fees people pay are like 10K a year for a degree. We said that before. Before Back in the time when me and Rosie used to do it, it was about 3K a year. Now they've gone up to 10K. A master's is about 12 or 15K, because I was going to do a master's at one time, before going to Saudi, but then I changed my mind. I thought, forget it, it's too much. 2 years to do a master's, forget it.
Yes.
So
Oh my gosh,
it was like, I thought, I can't be bothered with
It's
this.
expensive as
So
well.
yeah, subhanallah. So why would you not, if you really want that business, put the effort in, commit to it, work at it, subhanallah. It's not about what's happened to you or what's happened to me, but how I responded to it. You focus, and a lot of people in business generally, they start focusing. I'm sorry about the noise, by the way. It is my nephew's.
Fine.
I'm
Guys,
not gonna
life.
listen
We're not gonna pretend yet that we have this perfect cushy little. No, this is life, guys.
Yeah, this is reality, right? You focus on what you lose. You took a loss, but they don't look at what did you gain, right? Subhanallah. It's not about what happened to you, whether that was a divorce or whatever. Don't look at, what's the lesson. What's the lesson in this? What did life teach me by dealing with this? What can I extract from this experience in my life that I can apply now in other areas and in other aspects that are going to help other people?
Yeah.
The quicker you shift this perspective, the shift from yourself, right, to others in the midst of this adversity or this calamity or whatever's going on, the quicker you're going to get through. So it's not about what happened to you, but how you chose to respond to it. Martin Luther King said that life's most persistent and urgent question is, meaning he said this, the most important question is, what are you doing to help other people? Yeah.
Right.
What are you doing to help other people? I'm not
Right.
saying we don't acknowledge your pain. You've been through a painful experience. We get that.
Let me
Go
add
ahead.
to someone.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned purpose. Guys, we have multiple purposes in this world, and I want you to get out this rut of constantly trying to find your purpose, because it takes you into the spiral of doubt. Same as passion. Your passion is only profitable when it meets a demand and supply. That's it. Business is not about you guys. I really want to hone this in with you. It took me a long time to figure this out, but alhamdulillah, like in the first 5 years of my business. But now when I started hiring coaches in the last 4 years, I realized it's not your passion. It's not about you, right? And a lot of say, oh my God, I'm stuck. What's my purpose? Your purpose is to serve someone and to solve their problem. Make it that. That's one of your purposes, is to impact, transform, and serve others. That's one of your purposes in this world. We have multiple purposes. Why? Because we are limitless human beings. Our soul is limitless. It can do many things, right? But we have this container, the human body, that constantly makes us doubt ourselves. So you have to understand that, okay, want to build a business, what problem can I solve with the skills that I have? And how can I impact someone else's life and make their life better, so that in exchange, I get the money for it, because it's an energetic exchange. That's all it is.
Subhanallah, yeah.
Business,
It starts off, and it has to stay this way, subhanallah. It has to start off, you have to be really passionate about solving this problem. Usually, like, going through a divorce and things like that, that can really knock you down, right?
Yes.
Subhanallah, that was my challenge that I had in my own life, right? That was my adversity. And subhanallah, and that's why, because it happened to me, and I had to live through this hard and painful experience. I wanted now, after sorting myself out, to build a legacy, to change things, don't be ashamed to do that, subhanallah. And that's what was the drug that drove me. It was the oxygen that drove me, because now, alhamdulillah, when you become good at what you do, you can make a huge impact. Right?
Yeah.
And we took our times to do that, and we're still on that journey. Nobody's perfect. We're not perfect, right? We're not saying we're perfect at all. We make mistakes all the time, right? But when you get to work with, now recently, I've been working with a lady who's been gang raped, right? Think about this, right? She was gang raped by her ex-husband and his cousins. How bad is this, right? And she was having her panic attacks. She's in hospital. And when you work with people like that, and you transform people's lives like that, and when you transform people who are suicidal and they're contemplating of jumping in the canal because of their ex, and you go and you work with professional practicing Muslims, right, that are being pushed off the prayer mat. Literally, there was one of my clients, her mum pushes her off the prayer mat because she's so ignorant, because she says that this is, you've come back home after you've got divorced, the taboo of
Mm.
divorce. Subhanallah, then that drives you. That's what drives me to 10x their life. When you have a
Yes.
purpose like that, and when you have an impact like that, and you're helping people like that, you can create an amazing future for them. You have to love it.
Mm.
You want to do it. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it does require a lot of tenacity, especially from the coach. But when you're doing things like that, subhanallah, that's what wakes me up and gets me out of my bed.
Yes, that's the ultimate motivation, the ultimate discipline, the ultimate commitment that you need. You don't need anything else when you know that you are just trying. This one person's life. It doesn't have to be a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Just as like I
subhanallah.
say, it's one person at a time. It's not a people. It's not a group at a time. It's not a people at a time. It's one person at a time. Because when you shift that person's life, you shift their family. You shift the community. Then you shift the country. It's like a domino effect, right?
Yeah,
So you have to
subhanallah.
understand for yourself, for within yourself, just know that your passion, one of your passions and one of your purposes is to serve and to transform people's lives.
Yeah,
Let's go to the questions. There was one
yes.
about self-sabotage that I saw.
Hmm.
Um,
Ash Haluka, thank you very much. Hashim, Mariam, Mazada, thank you for joining, and thank you for your feedback. If you've got any insights, please let us know. What is it that you want to do? If you have any questions, feel free to PM us. The quicker you can shift your perspective. A lot of us, we just overthink this business thing. We overthink it, and we just dream and
yeah,
desire and wish and
it's
hope
very
for it and
simple
never
business.
really do it. Subhanallah. And
Exactly. Vajid Deki asked, how do you overcome the feeling of not being good enough at the beginning of your business? And I would say to hire a coach. And I know like a lot of you probably think, oh my God, they're always banging on about coaches because you know what,
it
we've seen
works.
the
It
results.
works. That's why.
Yeah,
Because we
within
have
that
done that.
second,
We've done that. We've
yeah.
been through that journey. We've been through that struggle, and that's what worked. Subhanallah.
Yeah, and I appreciate the question because I know exactly where you are in your life. You probably read all the books, you probably watched all the YouTube channels, you probably done all the self-help stuff that you can think of. You spend 80 hours a day going through the podcast and you're thinking, how do I get over it? That means you need to go and hire the coach now. Because what happens is you can consume and consume and consume, but the key is to transform. And a
Yeah.
coach and someone that can help you get out of your excuses and help you see your blind spots and also help you see your potential, that's when you start feeling good enough and thinking, wow, I can do it because I have someone supporting me and pushing me and making me realize that this can be possible. So I would say to you, definitely like reach out to me, send me a DM. This is what I work with with entrepreneurs, with clients. I help them get rid of that mindset issue around not being good enough for your business. Because remember, business is about solving problems. It's not about solving your problem. Your business
Subhanallah.
cannot your business can't solve your problem. It may come from a problem that you had, that you solved, and now you want to help solve other people's problems that are in the same situation, but it's never about validating you or making you feel good enough. And there's another question, how do you manage professional and personal or marriage relationships within business and not mix it all up from an emotional standpoint? So how do you
Um,
separate everything?
what do you mean? So when I work with married couples, or I
No,
don't
so
mix it all up. Subhanallah. We have a very clear outcome from the beginning, right? We have a
yeah,
goal that we're gonna achieve from the beginning. It's not about me becoming emotional. It's me being a professional coach, looking at the blind spots, really analyzing and digging deeper. What's the root cause of their problem? Right, what's
yeah,
the root cause? So we start from the root cause, we get rid of the root cause, right? We look at all other aspects of that person's life holistically. I think you have to be quite strong as an individual. If, for
yeah.
example, my niche is more relationships, right? And because of relationships, obviously when relationships don't work, and there's so many different scenarios that are going on within people, right? You have to be strong. I've overcome that in my personal life, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I had, alhamdulillah, when you have the personal experience, right, and the professional, you're two steps ahead of that as well. So it's, you have to be quite strong to deal with it. And alhamdulillah, I think when you see people in that situation, you want to help them even more.
Mm. That's so
right? You
deep.
want to
And
help them even more. It's not that, I think you just have to be a strong character, and you have to
yes.
really be good at your game. And when you're good
Yeah.
at your game, you can get results, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I think also the question was asking about, separating your personal life from your business, and I know how to answer that question. Usually, what happens is, okay, so this is what I used to do. I used to be so consumed with my business that when I was hanging out with my kids or my husband, the only thing I was thinking about was my business. Okay, what do I have to do
Mm.
next with my business? Okay, where's the lead? This is that. So I want you to focus on being present in your
Yeah.
business, and then when you leave your business, you tell yourself, I'm going to go be present with my kids and ignore my business, right? And then when you're in your business, you go, okay, I'm going to ignore everything else, my family, whatever, and give my time to my. It's all about practicing mindfulness and presence. This is the way that you separate everything, your personal relationships from your business, and they don't overlap.
Yeah, I
Because what
think
happens?
now I understand. Initially, in the first phases, if you're in the first year, this first 6 months, obviously that's going to take more time, and you might not be as present. There's no denying that, and there's
Yeah.
no hiding that. And the first year is a little bit more, little bit, because you have to put in the work, right? You have to really get good at your game. Then
Yes.
after that, you have to put that plan in place. Obviously, you're doing it for your family. They are your why.
Mm.
They are your
Yes.
reason why. They're the people that are driving you. They are
Yes.
the ones that
Exactly.
are going to benefit from the impact as well, not just you.
Yes, exactly. And guys, and another thing, when you focus on that particular thing, I always talk about focusing and mastery. When you get good at it, when you start being present in your business, you'll stop feeling guilty for not being with your family. Because you know that
Yeah.
once I've focused here and once I'm done here, I know that I'm gonna go and go and be present with my children. And I'm not gonna allow my business to interlink with that. And another thing that my coach always said to me, he goes, put post-it notes up on your whiteboard or somewhere where you can see it, and write three things that you want to be. So for me, it's like I want to be a world-class business leader. I want to be best friends with my kids, and I want to have an amazing marriage. And then he said, ask yourself the questions in the morning: what do I need to do to be all three things? What do I
Subhanallah.
need to
Yeah.
do in all three areas for me to show up as those people? And this is how you reinvent your identity, when you start being the person in your mind, so that you can start having the things that you want and having the relationships that you want.
Yeah, subhanallah. And that comes within time, inshallah. Once you've built it, you can really work around it, inshallah. There's not
Yes.
anything that cannot be worked upon. We've got a question from Facebook. Walaikum salam. Khatija Asha says, my question is, how can you know what you want in life without outside pressure, your family, society? Even if you know what you want, how do you make sure you're not neglecting your responsibilities in the pursuit of your passion? Rosie, I'll let you answer that one.
That's a very interesting question, and thank you for it. So
Yeah,
it sounds like you know what you want, but you're feeling guilty that you're not going to be able to
there's guilt
fulfill.
here. Yeah.
Yes, it's not the issue. What I heard in that language is the issue isn't that you feel like you're not going to be able to show up for your family or your friends or your responsibilities. You feel guilty. You feel
Yeah,
guilty
because
that
there's
if I,
outside pressure and family and society.
yes,
You can't please everyone, number one,
right.
anyway, always, anyway.
Yes, you have a conflict. You're telling, and this is what the ego does. The ego says to you, but if you go and pursue your passion, you're a bad daughter. You're a bad
Yeah,
mom. You're a bad wife. Because you know why? You're not going to spend time with your family. You're not going to spend time with your kids. They're going to feel neglected. They're going to hate you. And then everyone's going to say you're a bad person. And then what leads to the badness? Death. Because the ego is driven by death, because it wants to protect you from death. So what it sounds like, you just said to yourself so many times, if you know what you want, if you know what you want, if you know what you want, and then you said, but pressure, pressure, pressure. What that's creating is a guilt within yourself. And I would invite you to go on to sit further with the guilt and ask yourself, why am I really feeling this way? And usually it's because of parents' expectations or society's expectations, or you're afraid to outshine other people and you're afraid of that rejection.
there's
So I would
there's
invite you to
something
look at it.
underlying. Yeah, there's definitely
Yes,
maybe fears or doubts underneath that we'd have to look at
yes,
and see, okay, what's stopping you from doing that? And that's why, again, having a coach is so phenomenal, subhanallah, because they can help
yes,
you with a lot of things.
yes,
With some of
exactly.
my clients as well, we actually create a timetable, help with them,
Mm,
and say, okay, this is, and you have married people, you have different people, you've got professionals, everything, right, that have to have the balance in life, subhanallah. So
mm.
Hashim, yes, these programs are going to continue after Ramadan. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing this, inshallah, on a weekly basis. Isn't that correct, Rosie?
Yes,
So
inshallah.
inshallah, we're going
So
to do
that
we
we
do
have
this on a, yeah, we'll have definitely have more lives. We
Yeah.
did want to do them a lot more regularly, but we can't pretend and lie about it that we can, because obviously, alhamdulillah, me and Rosie are both, we do have our own business and other things as well, and so it becomes a bit difficult. But inshallah, we are going to commit to once in a week, and we'll let you
Yes.
know which day
We will,
it is, because
yeah.
Monday might be, Sunday might be Eid, Monday people might not be on, etc. So we'll work around it, inshallah.
Inshallah. There's one more question I want to answer. Veiled Adventure asks, do you think as a business posting formal and informal posts work best? I worry that my brand may come across as unprofessional. What do you think,
This
Sai?
is perfectionism, because when you look into the, I used to do that myself, to be honest. So I can't really, and I do sometimes still, but it's alhamdulillah, it's more or less fixed now. Looking at things, and it must look like this and it must look like that. When you start doing that, you stop producing stuff, because now your whole focus is how is it going to look. Now
Mm,
if you start doing that, that's not going to serve you at all. It's going to slow you down. You might even eventually stop doing what you're doing, because the perfectionism is so strong. So
yeah,
I
and
think
guys,
there's,
yeah,
yeah, there's, you have to get rid of the perfectionism. It doesn't matter how it looks. You need to solve a problem, you
and
need
that's
to
it.
provide a great service, and
Yeah.
give your clients an unforgettable experience, and
Mhm.
forget how it looks. And then once you're making money from it and you've monetized it, you can focus on how it looks.
Yes, later on, like in the beginning, guys, I still don't have a website, and I make four figure, I
Subhanallah.
still sell my
And
four
my
figure.
website is down. I didn't even renew it.
Yeah,
So, I had a website. I spent a whole year
I
on this
know.
website, subhanallah. And I was like, what is the point of
And
that? Like,
I always tell people, Instagram is my blog. Facebook is my blog. Go look at that, because that's all the stuff that you need to know. My videos are there, my posts are there. What you need to get out, just like cycles out that perfectionism, right? And also, guys, once you start selling, if you have a business, you don't want to give information. You want to give transformation in your post. Your posts have to
hmm.
transform the people who are reading it. It's not just regurgitating information.
So
You
they
have
have
to,
to connect to your audience. They
yeah,
have to connect to the pain and the purpose of what
yeah,
your audience want. What's the
yeah,
result they want? What's the pain they're going through? You have to
yeah.
get really nitty gritty on that, and that
That's what
becomes clear.
transforms.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So don't worry about the aesthetics. I know Instagram is very aesthetics, and we're looking at all the nice pictures of the beach and stuff. It doesn't matter. Look, if you look at my Instagram feed, it's all over the place. I don't really care. People still
Yeah.
message me saying, "I want to work with you." That's what matters. That's
Yeah,
what
alhamdulillah.
matters the most.
And when you transform their life, that's it, subhanallah. So really remember that each day is an opportunity for you. There's things that we can't control, like the temperature outside and the weather and how it's going to be and when it's going to be doing, when is lockdown going to finish and all that.
Yeah.
Lockdown, did I just say lockdown?
Lockdown.
Lockdown. See, it's getting to me. Lockdown, I meant lockdown. We don't know
She's
when
thinking about dinner.
lockdown
Lockdown, as in
lockdown
lock
is gonna
dinner.
finish. We can't control them
Oh my
things.
God,
We don't
Instagram
know
is
what
going
the animals are doing and when the bird is gonna go up in the trees and sky.
to.
Yeah,
Instagram's going to finish. Guys, I want to say bye to you on Instagram. Jazakallah khair for joining. Please share this video. Please feel free to DM me about any business advice that you need, and feel free to message Psycho on any marriage if marriage advice that you need. And inshallah, yeah, guys, we'll see you next week. Inshallah. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
yeah, subhanallah. So just stay on Facebook, Rosie. We'll call it a day shortly, inshallah. So as I was saying, so you can't control the things. Shh, right? We can't control things like outside, what the animals and the birds are doing, but we do have control over who we are. Our anxiety, our blockages, and what's stopping us, and we have to take massive action on that.
Yes.
Subhanallah. And
Word.
that, don't spend time complaining about things, because really 80% of the time people don't care. Right? If you're just gonna get into the complaining mode, I can't do this and I can't do that, just get a coach, it'll be easy for you. And 20%, 80% people don't care, and 20% are glad it's you.
Yeah, it's so true.
I heard that. Somebody said that. I can't remember who said that.
That is so true, guys. So yeah, guys,
Come on, we're not beating around the bush here.
no, we're not. Guys, if you want to build a business, like honestly, get rid of those mindset issues around money, selling, fearing being seen and heard on social media, procrastination, self-sabotage. Once you get rid of those blocks, everything else will fall into place and be like, yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. But it all
Yeah.
starts with you.
Yeah, and so what if you don't do well the first time round? So
Yeah,
what if it didn't work out the first time round? So what if if it didn't become as perfect or dreamy as you thought it was? Start over again, do it again. Resilience is super attractive, and
right.
so it will help you in every other area of your life as well.
Inshallah.
So if there is no other questions on Facebook, please let us know. If you do have any other insights or questions about business, you can feel free to DM, PM me and Rosie. That's what we are here for. Alhamdulillah. We
Alhamdulillah.
also want to say, Taqabbal Allah minna wa minkum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all your fasting, all your praying, all the efforts that everybody has been doing, all of us in lockdown. Subhanallah, we appreciate you. We are very grateful for you and your lovely, kind messages on both Facebook, Instagram. Inshallah, we're here for you. We are going to be coming here on a weekly basis. So do let us know if there's any topic that you would like us to discuss more so, inshallah. And Rosie, what would you like to say?
I would like to say Jazakallah khairan to everyone. I'm really sorry that we haven't been online, but we are enjoying being back. And yeah, guys, if you want to build a business and you need some help with growing your business, you already are, have some clients, but you just want to sell your high ticket offers, feel free to send me a PM. Feel free to send me a message. I work with clients on a one-on-one basis, and I help you get clear on your offer, and I help you get rid of all those money blocks and those marketing blocks, so you can show up online and impact and make money.
Alhamdulillah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put immense barakah in your business if you have got one or if you intend to do one.
I mean,
Enable us all to have integrity and high values and high ethics in everything that we do from the start to finish. So Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for joining. And it is Friday and it is the hour of acceptance dua.
yes.
We
So
will let you
please keep us
know.
in your du'as.
Yeah, please making dua, and inshallah we will be with you next week. So Eid Mubarak as well to everyone.
Eid Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum.